is my world. Oh, you took the world.
What's up, guys? Who's excited for Harness? Let's go! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Horn Summit, Lake Arrowhead edition. Let's get it going. Before we get started with our traditional chat, Owen has a few words he'd like to say, and then we're going to get after it.
I just want to tell a quick story, guys. So I was walking back from the bonfire last night, and I met this guy. For the sake of anonymity, we'll call this guy Bob, okay? And Bob said something that really stuck out to me. He said, every single time I've tried to wake up at this hotel, my wake-up call is missed. And all I want to do is wake up at 10:15. And I said, you know what, Bob? I've got about 100 hungry, angry, crazy people coming in tomorrow. We can wake your ass up at 10:15. Okay? So it's about 10:15. So let's do this one for Bob. Make as much freaking noise as you possibly can. You guys know how this goes, right? We make as much noise as we can, then it's where's it going? Then it's where's it going? And then it's who are we? And then it's two clap and a Ric Flair. Woo! Ready? Woo! Bob, make as much noise as you can. Let's go! Where's it going? Where's it going? Welcome, let's go!
Right on, right on, right on. All right, guys, this is going to be action-packed. Stay with us. Thanks for coming up. Who drove the farthest to get here? Anybody drive farther than Utah? No? That's a hat. Two hats.
We're going the furthest.
Jason.
7.5. Jason, John.
Hey, guys, do me a favor real quick. My girlfriend's coming in a little bit late. Let's give her a big round of applause when she gets in here. Yeah, not at all embarrassed. All right, guys. For the very few of you that I have not met, what a cool group of people. My name is Bo Fulking. I'm the Chief Sales Officer here at Harness Power. I'm blessed to be able to talk to each and every one of you. Hopefully you guys get some passion, passion, right? Some excitement, a clear vision, and a lot of stoke to take away from this. I want to do a quick recap on the last 6 months, okay? This business has grown and developed a lot, an absolute lot. We've had some turbulence. I don't know how some people react in turbulence when they're in an airplane. Personally, it scares the shit out of me, and I'm not afraid to let it see it. I don't act cool, I don't act calm. I grab the sides of my seat, neck veins come out, and we've all handled it differently, but we've made it here. We are super excited to show you a little blast from the last 6 months.
Follow too fast to prepare for these. Follow too fast to prepare for these. Falling too fast to prepare for these. Tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling this vultures. Negative, nepotist. Everybody waiting for the fall of man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this. Run me like a race horse. Pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip. Word upon your lip. Better that you live. Break me down and build me up. Whatever time. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do whatever it takes. Cause I love how it feels when I break the chains. Whatever it takes. You take me to the top. I'm ready for whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins.
All right. Yo. We queued that up on purpose, just like that. All right, guys, we're gonna get into Q2 winners. So one of the best things about competing about being in the sales industry is winning. So we're going to celebrate some of our Q2 winners. First off, top closer with 53 sales. Give it up for Dylan Acosta. Take the belt, dog.
Yeah. Todos están detrás de ti, pero tú no puedes estar para mí, haciendo que vea a alguien más, porque no te quiero. Lo que no saben es que no te dejas llevar de cualquiera y no te quiero.
Gilbert's sitting in the front row. Who likes the Bad Bunny? What's up,
Dile que tú eres.
Also, top installs, Gilbert Acosta, before you can sit down. 30 installs in the corner. Man, it's the Hornets record, 16 in a month. Give it up for Nate Westbrook, top prime rep, you too. Oh, don't forget the most important piece, dog.
We gotta do this
Do all they do is this. We gotta have music. Come on, Dylan.
All right. Next, we have most improved from 25 sales in Q1 to 53 with a difference of 28. Give it Acosta.
Yeah.
And now we have the Impact Award Q2. Give it up for Mola Karima.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. Every time I step up, think of me on it. Everybody hands go up.
And they say down.
And they say down. And they say down.
Next up, Dan Ponte. Throw a moment of silence for my dog Dan. Representing Harness in Israel. That guy, the photo on that guy. If anybody hasn't seen it, the guy's got a mean butt. OC Matters, top right team Q2, give it up.
Got to love ya, got to love ya, yeah, got to love ya, 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 yeah, got to love ya, got to love ya, got to love ya, got to love ya. Girl, me no stay like them when they will put you down. Me rather lift you when you fire off the ground. If on them fake, them on the kick back round. Only thinking about themselves alone. Listen to the key, now baby, tell them it all the sound. I know where they
Give it up for the top team. Rolls on parade. Marv, get up here. Matt Moss, get up here. All right. Give it up for all of our winners. Who win it now? All right, guys. So we have some exciting announcements, but there has been some wave earned, okay? So some people are going to be partners that by the end of this conversation, we're going to leave it to Dan to break them down, but go to the next slide, please. So remember, how to earn equity in this company. As a prime rep, 100 demos gets you in the pool, the wave, gets you on the wave. And for Alpha, it's 25 installs in-house unless we are not available, and then whatever's in your respective market. Next slide. We got promotions. Nate Westbrook, come back up here, brother. Cody M, San Diego.
Story time.
Yeah, give us a little.
Talk to us about your alien abduction.
Yeah. Talk to us about your experience at Harness so far, brother. How's it been?
It's been pretty sick. So when I started for harness about 2.5, 3 months ago, I was homeless, living in my van, just me and my dog, didn't really have a whole lot going on. I just happened to show up at an interview with harness and really dig the vibe and everything that it was about, and I just kind of ran with it from there. Ended up getting my first apartment after about a month in. It was in the ghetto, it wasn't that nice, cockroaches and shit, but I was thankful. Second month in, a little bit better, got a car, sold the van, didn't need the van no more. And third month in, I actually upgraded to a nice apartment in Escondido, and I won. Yeah, for sure. And now my next mission is make San Diego office #1 prime, #1 alpha. We're keeping that #1 spot for a long time.
Hey, congratulations. How cool is that? And I believe the man rolled up in a Tesla today. Great job, dude. Next up, we got Bill Compton, Prime DM, and the Dusty Nessel. Congratulations, man. You want to say a few words?
I'm extremely grateful for being invited into the Harness family. It's been a great ride. I started mid-June. It's incredible to see the energy out of this team and the camaraderie. Thank you again. And Nate, you know, Nestle may be small, but we're coming after you, brother.
Let's go. Great job, man. Congratulations. It's awesome. It's hot up there. And next we got Shauna Betancourt, Alpha DM, Bay Area Ballers. Get up here, Shauna. And I'm gonna, before I let Shauna say a few things, I gotta say, we worked together when I first was cutting my teeth out in New Jersey, and I had to lose to her Maryland troops month after month after month, and I'm really excited to have her bring her talents to harness. Let's give it up for Shauna.
I'm super excited to meet everybody and to be here. I mean, I'm only a couple weeks in, but the energy, the vibe, I feel like I'm at the right place, the right time, with the right people, and that doesn't come around that often. So I'm here to get it done. That's why they asked me what my name was yesterday on Bay Area Ballers. That's how we got to go.
Congratulations. All right, guys, just a reminder on our Top Gun for July. We've got some sick-ass Tom Ford watches, ocean recycled plastic, and these come in any color. I believe they're over $1,000. It's gonna be sick. Who wants it? Who's gonna take it? Next slide. So a little update on the Uncle Sam Solar Slam. Thank you, Kobe, for the name. July 1st to the 31st. You guys know how to score. Next slide, let's see the update. Matadors are in first with 21. Empire right behind him with 19. Middleweights, Dawn Patrol. Can't let Dawn Patrol win from the middleweight. That would be interesting. Legion with 12. Dusty Nessel with 4. What's that? In both categories, right? Next up. For Alpha, we've got Empire with 22, Dawn Patrol with 14, Bulls on Parade with 14, Lideris with 12, Los Machaderos with 24, Dusty Nessel with 13, Legion with 10, Mavericks with 2, Havoc with 2. Which team's taking it? All right, guys, it is my pleasure. I get to do this a lot, so it's interesting coming up with different stuff to say about Dan. But what more can you say, man? He's the reason that I'm here. He's the reason that changed my life for sure. I'm gonna stop talking real quick, man. I'm so proud of this company, man. I'm so proud of what we're doing here. It all started with Dan Dunn. Give it up for him.
Oh my God, these feelings just begun. I'm saying things I've never said, doing things I've never done.
Hey, I like that song. I didn't know that song was going to play. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I'm going to say some words. I hope they're good. I hope they're they produce the intended effect that I dreamed about for the last couple weeks preparing for this. I want to give you a state of the Harniverse. 1, who we are. 2, where we are. 3, what's next. And 4, why keep going. Next slide, please. So, most of you guys know our mission statement. You've read it, you've heard it. I'm not going to repeat it today. But I do want to say something about winning the day. If we ourselves are committed to winning each day, it's contagious AF. It really, really, really is. I've seen it over and over among this group. For those of you who are actually serious about this and really digest it and make it a part of you, you internalize this concept, you're literally just waking up every single day with good habits in the morning, setting the stage for your day, winning it because you know the day leads to the week, to the month, to the year. And we need to do this with our customers, obviously. We've got a lot to talk about throughout this whole weekend, but specifically in this meeting, I just want to pay some respects to operations, who started off this year on shaky footing, I would say. It's probably one way to put it, right? I mean, I love how honest we are in this company. I never want to get rid of that. It doesn't matter how big we grow, we're always going to be straightforward with you. We buy a company, and the company was not quite ready to scale, and so we had to work very, very hard behind the scenes. Very, very hard. Ade, Brady, Kyle, all the operations people, that triad though, or that trio especially, bearing the weight and the brunt of creating an entirely new system that actually functions at scale. And it's one thing, guys, none of you guys have seen behind the curtain as much as I have. And it's one thing to go from 20 installs to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 150 to 200. Each level brings new challenges and new problems and new stressors, and you have to structure it very wisely and very intelligently. And thank God for these three. And I'm so grateful for you guys. I'll pay some more homage to you as we go, but we're going to keep winning the day by getting better and better every single day and making sure that our customers can feel that from us because we've internalized it ourselves. Next. 90% of you, when we did the anonymous survey, 90% of you said, I can grow into who I want to be here. I think that's pretty remarkable. Now, it's not good enough for me. I want that at 100%. I want every single individual in this room saying, I know I can grow into who I want to be here. But 90% is pretty damn good. I'm really proud of us for that. Let's give it up for ourselves. Isn't that what we all want in life anyway? So I'm humbled by that number. I think we've done something very, very special. By no means would I ever give myself any kind of even half credit. It takes a team effort. I've got an amazing team, and I want to go on to start to recognize some people. Let's skip this one. We're good. So our team, as far as the board goes, so we now have a board of directors. I'm on the board, Bo's on the board, Owen and Brady. Bo, you guys know, Chief Sales Officer. If you haven't gotten to intimately know him, just talk to him around the fire tonight. He'll spill all kinds of beans. Owen Santos, Chief Strategy Officer. I know you guys get confused between the CSO, but strategy encompasses so much in the business. Owen is behind the scenes, a lot of times taking a step back, being quiet, thinking, processing, and coming up with the systems and processes that you guys benefit from every single day. Brady Anderson, Chief Operational Officer, honestly was a godsend for this company. He really was. He started out as the VP of Business Development. He had those connections, that swagger, and the confidence to create relationships with our vendors and to keep them solid and negotiate for us. And that parlayed directly into a COO role. I do want to say, because one of you mentioned, it seems like all the operations guys come from sales. Not so at all, actually. So I'm going to give you a quick pedigree from Brady. Brady owned his own solar company, ramped it up in sales and installations, sold the company back in 2019. Oh, it wasn't too long ago. And so he's been here, done that. He's done the operations side. He has done the sales side. He actually was one of the first 100 employees of Solar City, correct? Pretty crazy, back in 2010. So storied history in the solar industry. Brady hasn't had the industry scare him away yet, thank goodness. We benefit from his talent, his experience, and his coordination. Next, please. Paul Miller, CFO. Nobody really knows the behind the scenes of the finance department yet, but Paul, where are you, Paul? Hey, in the back.
Yeah, Paul.
Trying to stay secret. Yeah, he's ducking his head. Let's go. Paul Miller. I'm going to get to you. I've got a special slide for you after this one, but Paul just recently joined us and has already made a massive impact behind the scenes. It's very difficult I remember being a rep, again, 15 years on the doors, just like you guys. I wasn't thinking about how important it was for the company to have a very strong finance department, because that's what makes this whole thing hum and stay alive, right? So Paul is head of that, and he is doing some things, I'll show you, that are making a massive difference. Ade came from the experience of been there, done that, because he worked for High Level, a company that went from pretty much 0 to hero. They went up to 300 plus installs a month under his direction and processes. So we're extremely grateful to have Ade and his experience. He has been the reason for the new process. We call it Process 2.0. So if you guys noticed a big difference, which you all said you did, between Q1 and Q2 operations, it was primarily because of the process that Ade thought of and implemented. So give it up for Ade. Beautiful. And it's only going to get better, guys. It's no joke running an installation company, just so everybody knows. It's no joke. It's a very challenging, very difficult thing to do. Why are we doing it? Because we've got a massive dream. We want to do hard things. We want to solve problems. And we want to do it different than anybody else in the industry has ever done it. We want to do it better. So that's our challenge every single day, and we're all committed to it. I want to thank publicly all the people I'm showing on the slides right now. These guys are just as committed, and these gals are just as committed as I am, which is so freaking humbling. It's the most incredible feeling to like know that you started something, and then the people see the vision, they catch it, and they stay committed to it just as much as you are. It's amazing. So I want to thank them publicly for that. It's an everyday blessing to me. Kyle Hawkins, VP of Software and Product now. He was VP of Experience. Software and Product means he's the go-to guy for reports, Copernic, all the software platforms that we use. He's also strengthening the relationship with vendors and doing a ton of stuff. He was the guy that was pushing through all the accounts almost as like the highest end sales concierge you could ever meet in your life for the first quarter of the year. So Kyle, thank you so much for all the work you do. Dan Doolittle couldn't be with us today, but he is Director of People and Culture now. He's the guy that's behind the scenes running the customer experience. So if you guys have positive experiences coming from the customer experience department, it's because he is manning the ship there and making sure that those people are well trained. So let's talk about Paul for a second. He's the most recent, it's okay. Paul's the most recent integration to the team. So Paul just recently came to us from IQMD. It's a medical tech company. CFO there. He was actually head of finance department at Colorado River Indian Tribes, which is cool. Rechargeable Power Energy, which was a lithium-ion battery company. He taught at a university in Beijing, which means he speaks some Mandarin. It's pretty awesome. Worked at Western Waterworks Supply Company. More importantly, he speaks the language of trust and truth. The biggest impact Paul made on me was in our first meeting together. He said, Dan, here's what's going on, and we can solve all these problems. Like there are definitely some problems to solve every single day in a company that is scaling, right? I hope you guys are under no hallucination that to scale a company is easy. It's really not. So there's problems to solve every single day, especially on the financial side. In the first 6 weeks, Paul came in and saved us $500,000, which is huge, huge, huge. He's spending every waking hour arranging and composing and negotiating the best terms for our long-term financing. And then he is coming with experience and connections to take Harness to the next level and protect the company's financial health. He's doing all of that, and this is all extremely important to the company being around, continuing to pay you what we need to pay you, and hopefully in the future, knocking off some prices so that you can give your customers better deals and you can make more money. That's all we want for you guys. So thank you, Paul. Let's move on. Our team as well continued. Sherma, Director of HR. Sherma's one of the OGs. I want to give it up to Sherma. She, as the Director of HR, but just as a human and for being with us for years, she has dedicated herself to protecting the company and having the company's best interest in mind. And I just can't thank her enough for that. I don't even know where she is. Where'd you go, Sherms? Let's go! Why are you hiding? Hey! She's making a big impact on the company. So all the new W-2s that we hired this year, we have about 75 now. We only had like 5 last year. So lots of W-2 growth. She is director and dealing with all the W-2 stuff, and it's a lot. Darcy Bomer, Grow Team Manager, killing it, breaking records this year. We have hired a ton of people. I'll get to that slide in a second. Gabrielle Acosta on the commission side, working with Dylan hand in hand. By the way, Dylan is the man. He's sitting in the front row. You guys, yeah. I can't even, he's the glue. He's got all the numbers dialed in. He's making sure your stuff is accurate. Obviously, It's not always perfect. He's just right on it to fix things when they need to be fixed. Just can't thank him and Gabrielle enough. They're dealing with also the issues of scale behind the scenes when you go from like a spreadsheet to a much better system. So we're implementing some new cool stuff that's going to automate a ton of stuff for them and make things a lot easier on everybody. And then Jen Carr, she can't be here, but payroll manager. She's the one that actually pushes the button on getting you guys paid. These guys tee it up for her. And she also does a ton of other stuff to make sure like workers' comp's in order and on the liability side. So thank you, Jen. And finally, the one pushing the buttons right now, Michelle Haddad. Let's go. Now, I could have recognized a lot more people, obviously, but this is kind of the backbone of our team at corporate. So Michelle Haddad is behind the scenes pulling the strings. She's really the puppet master. Like, I'm only up here because she told me to be. And so ultimately, it all goes back to Michelle. Thank you so much for your dedication. All right, let's look at 2022 so far. So revenue growth, Q2 2021 over Q2 2022, 360% revenue growth. What does that mean? It means we grew by 360% from last year at the same time, right? I want to talk about revenue and why it's important for a second. $44 million on the year projected in revenue. So does that mean Harness is going to make $44 million this year? No. It means $44 million is going to pass through our bank account, which to the market is important as a number, as a metric, because it means that $44 million of value was entrusted to Harness, right? It came through our bank account. I mean, you guys created that value. We all did together. As far as profitability and what we actually keep, the lion's share by a very, very, very large margin goes back to commissions to you guys. And then, of course, we have to pay for overhead and make a profit. Pull-through rate is 68%. We want to improve that big time. If we can just get up to 75% as a company from sale to install, it makes a massive difference. Huge, huge difference. We all have a lot more fun together when we start to see those numbers continuing to increase. 1,461 sales, installs 753, demos 1869, new hires 248 new 1099s this year already. New hires W-2s 50. This year. We hired a lot in end of 2021. And then 28 new leadership promotions and hires so far in 6 months. That's a big 6 months, guys. Yeah. Huge. So by the end of the year, we're projecting we'll do a 400% year-over-year revenue increase. That's a massive metric for any company to hit. We'll pull through at 78%. I'm going to work on that so we can get to that metric. It's a 10% increase. It's a lot, but it's actually very doable. We want to get 2,000 more sales by the year end, 1,250 more installs, 3,000 more demos, 300 more 1099s, 25 more W-2s, and 20 more promotions or hires. Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be one of those 20? That's a good question to ask at this summit. We're looking to grow. That is our MO. Super, super good numbers here, guys. You should be extremely proud of yourselves. I'm extremely proud of you. I'm extremely proud of what we're done, and we're only gaining the momentum to keep going. What's up, dudes? How you doing?
What's up?
Hey! I don't know you yet, but we'll get to know each other. Next slide, please. Our partners. So, one of our secret nestles has been selling concert loans. Who likes the concert loan? Hey, it's pretty awesome. It's been the drip. We've definitely gotten accustomed to it, that 12 months, no payments. So that's been awesome. Sunlight. Partners are super, super important. We'll be announcing a new partnership today, but they're super important to pick the right ones. You guys remember the Sonova debacle? You guys remember it differently than we do behind the scenes. So I hate to call out people or organizations in front of a meeting, but they deserve it. So one thing that's really important is if we have a partnership with somebody, we're literally relying on them for them to pay us so that we can pay you. Very simple, right? So if that doesn't happen, we drop them. We're going to make these pivots as the industry continues to progress. Maybe new companies come along or new offerings. Obviously, we're going to make pivots to protect the best interest of this group. We have your backs. We need to make sure that you and your customers are always best served. So partnerships are critical, super critical. Let's keep going. We're now a 50-state market in the U.S. solar industry. Now, there's some states that are way less easy to do solar in, for sure. But as you can see, there's a little bit of a breakdown here in terms of saturation per market. We have incredible room to grow. Now that we have a solid foundation, not only in the leadership team and in structure and processes, but we can actually, we can safely say that we can bring on people in other states, should we choose, in a way that's responsible, instead of just, let's go as quick as we can and as wide as we can, which is what a lot of companies are doing. Next, please. Okay, so where we're going, we want 2,000 installs, we want 4,000 next year. This is a quick little graph of what happened between 21 and 22 with sales. Obviously, the difference this year is bullish, right? Bulls on parade, helping out with that. And 2023 to 2024 will look a lot similarly to that too. It might even be more exponential. Let's keep going. What does this all matter? So we talked about this, right? We have a 3-year strategy to make sure we can accumulate as much value in the marketplace as possible, because we feel like there is a window to take advantage of to where we can all win together in a way that's a nice pop, right? Our whole MO, our whole purpose should not be filled with this exit strategy of 3 years, but it's a beautiful target, and it's a sprint, really. I think you can do anything for 90 days, but for 3 years, that's also kind of a short period of time. They go by really quick. And if we can get to the point where our revenues get up to 100+ million, which 44 million this year, we're not that far off. What happens with that is the company becomes infinitely more valuable to the marketplace, at least under current dynamics, especially if you're vertically integrated and you have multiple sales channels and some IP. So we're looking to do all those things for you so that as you gain these options that I'm about to dole out right after this, they actually mean something. They're going to be extremely valuable to you. So these options, I know there's been some rumblings. Is this thing still happening? Are we still doing the wave? We still riding this thing? Oh yeah, you've been riding it the whole time. It's just that you have to qualify. So nobody in Q1 qualified yet since it started at the beginning of the year. Now that we're in Q2, we're going to start doling out these certificates. And last night, I actually emailed 9 of you that I'll be recognizing here in a second that got the first options out harness ever. Well done, guys. It's a huge deal. Let's go. So here's why I know we talk about surfing too much, way too much, okay? And we're talking about the wave, and there's all these analogies, and our pay scales are built around surfing terms. Listen, the reason we like surfing so much is because it checks some boxes. It checks a lot of boxes. Exercise, it's challenging, it's social, and you get to nature soak. Like, who doesn't love all that stuff? So let's go to the next slide. Harness is also checking some boxes. And I want to make sure it checks a similar amount of boxes, if not more. If you think about Tony Robbins' basic human needs that he identified, significance, certainty, uncertainty, connection, love, growth, contribution, I believe, and I'm seeing this, and I hope you feel it too, that because we're building a monument here, we're building something different and special and something that can not only take us to that 3-year mark and earn us a beautiful award that's very rare in this life, but also build a monument that can last a lot longer than that, and something that lives inside of us that's a beautiful memory of something we did in our life that was special. Everybody's on this planet because they want to do something special. We all want that purpose. So we need the significance of feeling like we're part of something bigger. Everybody needs it. That's what we're doing here. It's checking the box, certainty, trust in the leadership and the direction. We hope we never betray your trust. We hope to. We hope to never do that. I feel like the saying that we have is very accurate. We might miss, but we will not mislead. And hopefully on the local level as well, your local leaders will be talking to them this weekend and training them and making sure that we're on the right track with it. You can trust them, and you can trust in the direction of the company. That will give you certainty, but there needs to also be uncertainty. There's market dynamics, there's evolution, there's headwinds, there's resistance, there are challenges, there are problems. That actually has to exist in life as well for you to appreciate everything and to grow, which is also on here. We will break you in a good way. You don't want to be the same person you were last year. You want to break that person, break out of the mold, become somebody new. Now, maybe you do want to be the same person, and you're all about, hey, I'm good enough. It's not about that. You are good enough. You're perfect the way you are now. But you won't be perfect the way you are now in a year from now. Because humans have to evolve, they have to grow, they have to adapt, because this whole world around you is doing the same. If you can't stay on that train, you're going to fall behind. So, connection and love will come with that. As we break ourselves in front of ourselves, we break each other in a good way. Bonds, friendships, and memories will last. They will be made. They will last. And we will make this thing a monument. That is the word we're using, a monument to remember. And the contribution finally is, as I started this conversation, every day you help others win their day, you're winning yours. Let's go to the next slide. All right, here goes. I told you guys I was holding back some announcements. We're gonna start doing them right now. There's no clicker, is there? This is the, okay. I just feel better having control. I'm gonna rely on you. Let's get to the juicies. First one, we are on the Inc. 5000 list, my friends. Now, we don't know where we're going to be on the list until next month. They're going to announce where we are. Based on what I've seen, we're definitely in the top 1,000, which is cool. We might be in the top 500, which is the original list, the Inc. 500. This is based on revenues, growth year over year. So, listen, I actually don't like this kind of stuff. I've resisted this for years to give ourselves awards as companies, because you have to register and say how good you are and stuff. It just hasn't appealed to me. But I think it's very important, not only for you guys as well, to know where we're going and that we're getting publicly recognized for it, but it's a cool talking point with your family, friends, and neighbors, and your customers as well. It's definitely representative of what we are doing. Lots of companies do not grow like this. There are plenty of companies out there that fail or just resist growth or just can't grow. It's rare, guys, to be in a company that is growing this way.
What's up, JD?
What's up, JD? It's kind of weird to clap for people that are late, but that's okay. Push-ups. Okay, next slide. No more Larson contract in California. We have the harness contract uploaded. It's about time. Just a quick recap. Obviously, New Jersey, you've always had the harness contract. We had to rely on the Larson contract because the licensing was attached to it for the last 6 months. The licensing just did not transfer easily. We decided to go a whole different direction and actually just get our own license that's specialized to harness. We now have the license, we've got everything good, and we're actually going to get a C10 on top of the current license, because the C10 license in California is like the mother lode of licenses that will allow us to do all the battery installs we want under a master license ourselves, right? So that's going to come, obviously, NEM 3.0, batteries, it's going to be super important. We are preparing for that and making sure that we're in the right position, but you will no longer see this when you log into Solar Aurora. You'll be seeing the solar contract under harness. You won't have to explain to your customers anymore. Yeah, I know. So hopefully that's a good piece of news, and I'm sorry that it took so long. That's great. I will say that. Next slide. Sunrun. Okay, hold on. We got some Sunrun people in the back just covertly sitting by the fire with no fire going. Nick, do you want to come up here in a sec? I want to introduce you, man. So Nick is from Sunrun. He's the one that's been working with us. It's been a long time coming. He actually started working with us probably 4 months ago, trying to get us going. At the time, we were Sonova bound still. We thought there was maybe a different direction. But Sunrun is the move for sure. I know you guys out in Jersey use them a lot. I know here in California, obviously it's a well-known name. So I want to, just give you quick 90-second intro. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. All right, Hunters Power, how's it going? Yeah. Yeah, really excited to be here. I think we got a message in LinkedIn from Dan like a while ago. It's like, hey, is it you that we need to talk to about getting a partnership going with Sunrun? I was like, hell yeah, you do. And so after a lot of turmoil and a lot of due diligence, we're here. We're super excited to be working with Harness. We owe a lot to Harness. We already know that Harness has been selling Sunrun a lot for us within other partners, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you, because Sunrun's growth is in part largely to what Harness has done for us. So thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. We're very, very grateful for that. But it's time that you guys get all the credit for that. It's time that we take that in-house, we grow it, we scale it, you guys get better, and it's not through somebody else. And I'm really excited to get you guys selling. I want to introduce you real quick as well, though. Jeremy Rigby back there, he is the tall giant in the blue shirt. You can't miss him. He's going to be the primary point person for all of the salespeople who need help in the home. You're having problems with tools, with logins. If you've ever sold Sunrun, our tools are super awesome, right? Yeah, we've got some work to do, but he's going to be the guy that makes sure that you're not stuck and that we get things taken care of. So, and by the way, things are really improving. We have some great announcements that I'll share later with Dan about our technology improvements that are coming. Huge platform shift that you guys are going to go crazy about. So I'll save just a little nugget there for that. And then Matthew Barden, James's brother, he is here. So. He is the chief training officer in the channel business. Anything in terms of training or help or
Hey. I was planning on today, Nick. I will say, don't get angry at me, though. We're going to go with a few select groups. We're not going to unveil it to everybody, because here's the worst thing you can do in a company is unveil and launch and have it just go meh. So we want to do a kind of a more gradual thing. We had probably a little PTSD from the Sonova experience. So if you guys want to be a part of that Sun Run launch, please email Brady and myself. You can just put us on an email, and we'll consider each person we already have our targets, but we'll consider each person that wants to get in on this. Next, the package. So in each office, we want to have certain things. We want to have the H sign, which is the coolest sign in the world in the Empire office right now. You guys are lucky. Not every office has that, but now it's going to be standard issue, my friends. Sorry to make it... It's no longer special. It'll be in every single office. We're also going to get some really cool prints of photos that Ryan Hartford, our media guy, awesome media guy, has taken over the years. We'll get those put up on metal. It's super cool looking. You got a few of them? Cool. Sure. Yeah, we can put them on display or something. But anyway, each office will be getting this package in the next month. I don't want to promise shipping issues. So you'll be getting the package next month, and we'll make sure that you guys have a little bit of the branding in the office. Next, Harness Analytics are up and live on CQ. Guys, this is the coolest thing in the world. We've got leaderboards for every category you could ever want. The metrics and the data I have been promised by Max, our developer, are accurate because we're pulling in the data from BPS and integrating it, obviously, with our in-house. So these leaderboards should be good. Now, if they're not, if you think there's a dispute in the data, it's not showing what you're actually doing in reality, please contact Kyle. Kyle's the go-to for software. And let's make sure that we keep on honing in on any kind of inaccuracy, because we want a single source of truth. It's the most important thing a business can do, is to have a hub, a single source of truth, to make sure that we know exactly where we're at. But this is going to look awesome. It'll be under analytics on your dashboard there. Go to the next slide, too, please, if you don't mind, Michelle. There'll be obviously some other things you can do, too. You can have bar graphs, you can have pie charts, et cetera. But I like the leaderboard style. We'll have some project pull-through timelines as well, so you can actually see what ops is doing on an average basis. Right now, they're about a month on average from sale to install in certain areas. So you can kind of go by area as well and get really granular. Super cool. So this is all live. We've been working on this for a while now, and Max has really come through, and I'm excited to share that with you guys on your dashboards. Next slide, please. Damon West, who knows him? Let's go, JD. One person. You're the only one that... Exactly. You're the only one that actually listened to me saying, you guys need to go listen to this podcast. Thank you, JD. Appreciate that. Anyway, I'm on to the Ed Milet podcast because of Owen. Owen introduced me to him. This was a guest speaker recently that Ed Milet had on his podcast, and I was blown away by him. So I went ahead out of my personal pocket. I'm paying for this guy to come. Here's the coffee bean. He's actually not going to, I apologize, he's not going to come. He's going to do a Zoom meeting with us. It's cool. It's pandemic style. He's going to do a Zoom meeting with us. Oh, yeah, there's the prints. We're going to actually make them bigger, though, right? Yeah, those are the smaller ones, yeah. So Damon West is just a monumental speaker. It's going to be on July 18th at 10 a.m. It's a Monday, I believe. Whatever day it is, it's going to be a different day than our typical meeting, so I'll make more reminders as that's coming up. But it's It's going to be a powerhouse meeting. I want operations on the call as well. Brady, I want everybody in the company to listen to this guy. He is phenomenal. His story is amazing. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. Next. Por la gente, para la gente. Is that good? Okay, okay. I've been practicing. I believe Abraham Lincoln said that, right? No, Abraham Lincoln actually said for the people, by the people. That's what that means. So I'd like to actually introduce the wave options for the first time in harness history. Let's start doling these suckers out. Last night, digitally, I sent 9 earners of these certificates, their digital certificates, showing them how many options they have in the pool. Let's go to the first one here with the most, Brian Edwards. Brian Edwards is the proud recipient of the first harness power options ever received. Now, you'll see at the end of this. Oh, you didn't get that? Oh, okay. So it was all fake.
Don't cash it until next week.
Don't cash it. Yeah, you can't take that to the bank just yet. So Brian is vested now. If you remember, based on the rollout of the wave, you have 2 vesting periods, essentially. You have vesting by qualification, which he did. So whether that was an individual 25 installs for the year or his team did 100. So it was actually both in his case, right? 100 installs for the team plus and 25 installs plus. That's why he has the most options out of anybody right now. Right now, this thing is brand new, guys. It's anybody's for the taking. But the first vesting is that, and then the second would be us getting acquired, right? So these options aren't really going to do much in the meantime. They're really just going to be for you to keep, and they are potential energy that is really only as good and valuable as we make it. Okay, next. So this is the certificate I just gave him. This is the certificate that everybody will be getting when they earn their options. Next, Dion Velasquez. No surprise, Mr. MVP 2021. Will he make it again this year? Gilbert's giving him a huge run for the money, but that's okay. He gets the laugh right now. He's winning, man. He's winning. So Dion Velasquez, super outside the box kind of thinker as well. Business within the business, the master of business within the business. He's taking his CEO mindset to the next level every single day. We're super proud of this guy. Thank you, Dion. Next slide. Gilbert Acosta. Of course. How could you not be in the top 3, my friend? We getting pictures here, Ryan? Sweet. Let's hold up the certificate. Yep.
Gilbert's going to have a carry-on full of shit.
I know. Awesome. Well done, Gilbert. Congratulations on that. Next. Xavier! Empire. Hey, man. Proud of you, man. You had such a killer quarter 1. Carrying it over into quarter 2. This guy's earned every single piece of this, man. Good job. Good job, X. Got that. Are you got that? Okay, fine, fine. All right, next. Nicole! Oh! Also from Empire. Well done, Nicole. Amazing job. Nicole's the most fierce closer and pull-througher that we have in the business. One of the most. 100%. If she sells it, it's going to the roof. Jean-Pierre Velasquez. Let's keep it going. Jean-Pierre Velasquez. You can't stop this bloodline, man. You just can't. Steven's next. I know it. I know it's next. Steven Velasquez is coming up strong this year, but this is all about JP in the moment.
Looking sexy, JP. Boy.
Super. Dude! He has done a lot to his life in 2022, that's for sure. Matt Ruggiero! Hey, let's go. Matt Ruggiero. Cool, dude. Congratulations, brother. We all know why you're up there. Is Landon up on here? Let's go, Lando! Hey!
Look at that steezy photo, bro. Steezy photo.
You gotta work for it. You were super high, right? Yeah. Next time we'll get you when you didn't smoke something before that. Noel Santos! My friend, my friend. Hey, that's a lot of people from Empire. Let's note that. I believe that's the most. I believe that was the team with the most. Well done, guys. So those 9 individuals now have options in the company. I want to make sure we said different things just to be specific. Options are options. Equity is equity. They're actually 2 separate things. Actually, nobody in this room wants equity at this point because if the company's valued at X amount, you have to pay a ton of taxes when you get equity. So you don't want that. You want options. You can then convert those options when the company sells, and it's a cashless option, meaning you don't ever have to pay for it. You're earning it through your sweat equity. In a lot of companies, they make you pay in to get equity or to get options. You're not going to do that here. This is the wave. This is what we do. Cool? All right. So, for those of you who just got options, there's an exclusive options call on Wednesday, July 13th. That's next Wednesday, 9 a.m., just for the inner circle of those who just earned these. We want to talk about what it means, why these first options this year are going to be the most important options that you can go after. Okay, so over time they do adjust. So we'll talk about some interesting things on this 13th at 9 a.m. It's going to be awesome. Okay, potential energy. So all this is, you heard me say it earlier, is potential energy. We talk about valuations. We talk about how we're going to this, maybe a dollar amount, or we want this. Guys, none of that matters unless we pay attention to the matter at hand, which is us building each other up, making sure we build a monument out of this company, something that's special and valuable, not only to us, but to others. So this is all potential energy. I just want to make sure that we don't lose sight of, when we're talking about money, 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 and these valuations, we don't lose sight of what actually creates that intrinsically, which is creating value for each other. Next. So we'll be life-focused. We'll be focused on making sure, and Owen's going to speak a lot to this, that we focus on the lives that we are creating for ourselves here. Next. We also have solar as an option, but we have solar and battery, which is a must in Puerto Rico, a rising wave everywhere else. Solar roof and battery, which we can do. And then we are going to have more products in the future that we can offer that are not just going to be muddying the mix, but actually super necessary and cool stuff that we can put into these finance options to make sure people have the best home efficiency that they can get. Next. All right. I will close with this. There's a problem. The problem in the world is everyone wants to go to heaven. Few of us want to die. There's a problem. Let's go to the next slide. Success is not an accident. So we're talking about all these beautiful things, big dreams. We're rewarding ourselves. We're extremely excited about where we're going, the momentum. It's not always easy, though. We get frustrated on a daily basis. Something goes wrong. Somebody else screws something up for you. It's a hard feeling to digest. But it's not an accident when you take that feeling and you divert it towards a solution. The solution, on the next slide, is to embrace pain. You know this, right? Black belt jiu-jitsu, my friend. Let's go. Brad. Let's go, Fernando Brad. There's actually a few MMA guys in here too. But you know that to embrace pain means that you need to overcome the impulse reaction that your body has, your nervous system is giving you, to say, I don't want that in my life and I'm too stressed out by it. Problems are the truth. Problems are the reality. This is where we are in the world. We have to have problems. And the coolest thing we can do is to say, we're professional problem solvers. You guys have heard me talk about this before. This is the theme of the year. And it's not some gaslighting thing that I'm trying to do, saying, hey, guys, I know we've got some corporate stuff to solve, so could you please maybe solve your own hands and solve problems as they come up and have that mindset. Be the CEO mindset, guy or gal out there that's like, all right, I don't like this is a problem, but I'm going to try to think of a solution, and I'm going to present that solution. And no leader has ever gotten pissed at somebody for trying to present a solution that made sense. Doesn't matter where the idea comes from, it's always a good idea. Okay? So let's all help each other out. And I guess I would be remiss if I didn't mention this before I closed out my remarks. You guys all see that I'm wearing a mask today, obviously, right? This is not for me, it's for somebody else. Same thing, the same thing we do here in the company, okay? We do stuff for other people, so when problems come our way, if you solve the problem, it circulates, and Damon West is going to talk about this. You can only change that water if you're the coffee bean. I can't give it away, man. Shoot. I'm giving it away. Anyway, being a professional problem solver is the move, guys. It's going to lift everybody up around you. And I want us to have that mindset because that's the only way we get to that top. I believe that's the end of my remarks. Let me see. I need to say this last thing. What a day! Everybody give it up for Dan Dunn!
All right, guys, if you do have to use the restroom, now would be the time. We're going to play a little video from some of our favorite Slack moments so far this year. If you do use the restroom, be back in about 3 minutes. We got some good stuff coming.
Because you move me, baby, don't you prove me wrong this time, 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 wrong this time. Because you move me, baby, don't you prove me wrong this time, wrong this time, wrong this time. Because you move me, baby, don't you prove me wrong this time, 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 wrong because you
Check. Whoa, wide, wide, wide. All right, guys, lock in, pay attention. We're about halfway there. Is everybody having fun so far? Harness having fun so far? All right, guys, no tears here because I won't let him see me cry. I have the pleasure of announcing father of Maximus, one of my closest friends, and in no short measure, a huge reason why Harness is who it is today. Please give it up for my business partner, the Chief Strategy Officer, Owen motherfucking Santos! Second, everybody stand up. I always like to do some weird shit when I start. Yes. All right, so we're gonna do, if you would go to the next slide, as Bo mentioned, this is my son. This is one of his best smiles. This is Uncle Matt holding him. I just got this picture actually last night. So I want to do something a little strange. As long as you're comfortable with it, I want you to turn to your left or turn to your right and grab one of the people. Not in like a weird way, right? Some of you will be weird, but like a hand, an arm, anything like that. And I want you to look that person in the eyes, and I want you to smile as big as you can in their eyes. As bright in their eyes, as big as you can, right in their eyes. Right in their eyes. All right, now everybody sit down and stop being so weird. Let's go. Man, we like when we smile. It's a good emotion. We have fun with that. So I like to start pretty positive. Everybody having fun? All right. Who had the biggest smile in the room? Who do we think? Matt, his partner voted for him too. It's probably a good bet. All right, next slide, please. Guys, I want to talk about goals real quick, and I'll wrap it up into a conversation that's absolutely not about goals. So this isn't one of your typicals like, hey, I hope you guys have goals. Set them good, set them high. It won't be that, I promise. Who has a goal in this room? Any goal? Somebody share one with me. Any goal? Anybody?
100 demos.
Acquire property? What?
100 demos.
100 demos in what time period? Just 100? Hey man, 100 is a nice number. Let's go. James?
Help bring as many as possible.
Love that, man. Love that. One more.
I just want to give me and my family the best life possible.
Awesome. Great goal. Have you guys ever thought about why you want that goal? I see you, Logan. I'll get back to you. Have you guys ever thought about why you want that actual goal? Have you thought about whether you want the thing and whether the thing is real or whether you want the way it makes you feel? Right? I have a ridiculous goal that I've had since I was 10 years old, and I will accomplish it at some point. I want to be worth $100 million. And I've thought about it recently, and I've realized I don't really just want to see on paper that I'm worth $100 million. That's not really what I want. I want the way it makes me feel. Because I've been obsessed with freedom since I was a kid. And I've always kind of put the number of ultimate freedom at $100 million. Then I can pretty much do whatever the hell I want, right? Right? Yeah. Sorry, guys. If you haven't heard me speak before, if I ask a question, I'll just sit here and wait like a weirdo until somebody answers. So just keep that in mind. So do you want the goal, or do you want the way it makes you feel? What do you think? It's kind of the way it makes us feel, right? Maybe there's some exceptions to the rule, but in general, we pretty much want the way what we want will make us feel. When I first started making money in this industry, I wanted one of those new Corvettes. It's 2015, that brand new Stingray just came out. I wanted that thing. I got that thing. It was awesome, but it was awesome because of why? Because of the way I felt when I drove it, because of the way I felt when I looked at it, because of what I was reminded of having to do when I drove it and saw it. I was reminded of all the doors I had to knock to get that car. And I was freaking proud of myself when I thought about it. I felt proud about myself. And then, of course, when you go 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, you feel pretty alive as well. So it was really just the way it made me feel, right? So to wrap this all kind of in a little bow for what I'm going to talk about today is we wanted to get very granular with you guys on the vision of the company. I've been asked by a few different people, like, what is the vision of the company? And we wanted to get very granular and as simple as possible because we tend to, especially as salespeople, we tend to overtalk, we tend to overcomplicate. And you guys have all been in houses or on doors when you really think you're killing it, but then afterwards when you don't get the set or you don't get the close, you realize, man, I overcomplicated the hell out of that. It barely made sense to me. Right? You been there? It's like, shit, I attacked that from every angle all at once. I just vomited information, and I'm confused. No wonder they didn't go solar.
right? So we wanted to get as simple as possible. So the vision became about what we wanted to feel as individuals, meaning myself, Bo, and Dan, and also what we wanted you guys to feel, what we want Harness to feel as a company, as the family that we profess to be and that we strive to be. What did we want to feel, right? Next slide, please. So we determined that, well, one, we want to do things a little bit differently. In this industry, why do most people get in this industry? Money. Why do most people stay? Culture. All of a sudden, you get a few different answers, right? Some people are like, I'm here for money, bro. I don't give a shit about anything else. But the essence is, even if we paid you guys a lot of money, if we sucked as humans, if we couldn't put on good events, if we didn't give you training, if we didn't add value to your life, most of you guys wouldn't stay. I wouldn't stay at a company that I made a ton of money at, didn't like the people I worked with, and didn't feel like I was growing as an individual, that I didn't like the way I felt. Right now in this industry, and in most industries, people work for what? Money. We don't want this to be about money right now. And it's not about money right now for myself, Bo, and Dan. To be transparent with you guys, us three will make less money this year than I think we've ever made in our careers, at least since we were like rookies and reps and stuff like that. Because it's not about that for us right now. It's about adding value. And this is what's separating us from everybody else in the industry right now, and even everybody else in most industries. We're not after making money this year. I know a lot of you are, and that's admirable, and you absolutely should be. But we're after adding value to this company. You saw what Dan showed you with the revenue. You saw some people get awarded options today. We're after building a massively valuable place for you guys to work and adding value to your lives. It doesn't matter what we make personally this year. It doesn't matter what we make personally next year. And as you guys advance and some of you get promoted and start to see this vision behind it, you'll get in line, or you'll get more and more on board with this way of thinking about being value obsessed as opposed to money obsessed, because most of us are money obsessed, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's the way most of us were raised. When you become obsessed with value, it becomes a lot more fun, and it can become about something other than money. And what happens is, because value is the ultimate lead measure, which I'll get into in a second, but because it's the ultimate lead measure of success, when you end up adding value and focusing on that, what do you think happens to the money? The money goes up. You get more money than you could ever imagine. I've talked to many people in this company right now that are making more money than they ever thought possible. And those are the people focused on value. So I want to give you guys an idea of how to make the most money and just to not focus on it, oddly enough. And it took me 31 years to realize this. So if you don't quite believe me yet, or if you're not quite there yet, don't feel bad. You don't have to believe me, but just plant it like a seed in your mind and consider it for a minute. Cool? Cool, next slide, please. So, our vision in the company is simple, guys. We are hell-bent on building an epic monument of a company, one that we appreciate in the moment and will look back on as the greatest home of our careers, a home that built 1,000 lives. Again, when it comes to adding value, and we talk about different evaluations of 500, there's been whispers of us shooting for $1 billion evaluation, and we were thinking about different visions around different evaluations. But all that really mattered in the end, we determined and we realized, and we finally came to understand, is that we just need to build 1,000 lives. Because there's people in this room right now who have had their life built here, not just by us. Of course, they had to do most of the work. But we gave them the place and allowed it to happen, encouraged it to happen, supported that growth, supported that evolution, and they can legitimately say that their life has been built at Harness. Not by Harness, you've got to do the work yourself. But their life has been built at Harness. Where was Nate Westberg 3 months ago? Anybody remember? In his van. Was his life built by Harness or built at Harness? Hell yeah. Brian Edwards, where were you working 3 years ago? Has your life been built at Harness? Let's go. Brian built his life, but he built it here. We want more. We want 1,000 of those. And there's many other people in this room that are already there. We've realized that if we get to 1,000, everybody gets everything they want. Of course, the 1,000 people get what they want. Everybody in the company gets what they want, because you damn well better believe we're $1 billion company if we build 1,000 fucking lives. Promise you that. Nobody else is doing that shit. We absolutely will be there. So all that will take care of itself. As we just talked about, the money will take care of itself. So that's what we want to focus on. It's not just, again, about the money. It's not even just about the lives. Why do you think we want that kind of goal? Why do you think we want that kind of vision? Because of how it makes us feel. Right? Because if we help build 1,000 lives, can you imagine the feeling that comes with that? Imagine being part of a company, being a part of a team, being part of a family, an organization, a group of individuals that built 1,000 lives. Where you can literally look at 1,000 people, 500 to your left, 500 to your right, and their life is built. And I'm going to define what I mean by built in a second here for you, but just imagine, similar to Nate Westberg, similar to Brian Edwards, as the two examples we'll use today, as people whose lives are built, where they make a bunch of money, they're happy, they're successful, this, that, and the other thing. You have 500 to your left and 500 to your right. Does that feel like a happy place to live? Of course. Does that feel like a happy place to live? Yes. All right. That's what we're after. We want to feel that way. We want you guys to feel that way. We're after the feel of what this vision can provide. And then you got to ask yourself, how long does that feeling last? And I was asking myself this question over the last couple of days. What kind of feeling? Because feelings sometimes can be fleeting, right? So how long does it last, and what does that look like? When I got married, in my wedding vows, I spent a little time defining forever. I was trying to kiss up to my wife and sound good. It worked. I crushed my vows. Still married, had a kid. It was cool. But thinking through it like this, that feeling, our definition of forever is really what? People say, you know, I want my legacy to last forever, but what's forever to you? From now until you die, right? No matter what you believe happens afterwards, but I'm talking about forever on this planet, unless you think you're coming back as an owl or something, then all the power to you, look me up. But it's for however long we're around. Built lives, once your life is built, a person with a legitimately built life doesn't go backwards. That's part of the process of building the life. So these 1,000 built lives that we're after can literally last forever. If we sell this company for $1 billion and everybody in this room gets $1 million of it, will that last forever? Some of you probably grow that shit. Some of you probably put it all on black. So it's not going to last forever. It's going to go up or down. Inflation is going to take half of it. Tax is going to take some of it. Whatever it may be, the money is not going to last. The 1,000 lives can literally last for what our version of forever is. Because our version of forever is, again, from now until we're done with this current life that we're in. And we're talking about building the current life that we're in. So if we build something and then you get to experience it for the rest of your life, that can literally last forever. So now we're talking about a vision that can lead to a feeling that can literally last forever. You guys understand that? Yes. You see how we came to this conclusion? Are you with me so far? Yes. Cool. Next slide. Let's define a built life, and everybody's version of this is going to be a little bit different. I just want to give you a couple key metrics for us. A person with a built life sees tangible and regular evolution. Dan alluded to it earlier. We are genetically pre-programmed to grow, to evolve. If we are not doing that, you will not be happy long term, I promise you. As Dan mentioned, if you think you're completely content with your version of yourself now, that's awesome. You are perfect as you are now. You will not be perfect as you are now next year if you were still the exact same person. You will not be happy with yourself. You just won't. Because you're genetically pre-programmed to evolve. So if you're not growing even a tiny way, shape, or form, just a tiny little way, it's not going to be enough. You got to grow. You got to evolve. So to have a built life, you have to continually evolve in some way, shape, or form. Right? You got to have fun. Is this company fun? Yeah. I have a great time here. I worked at a lot of places. I have a great freaking time here. I love doing what I'm doing. I appreciate you guys giving me 20 to 30 minutes to listen to me rant about this shit because I'm really passionate about it, and I mean it from the depths of my soul. And hopefully you guys can feel that. A built life has fun. You think Nate Westberg's having fun? Yeah. I promise you. I see him in that Tesla. That's what he didn't tell you, is I think it was the second month in, dude wins the company Tesla, so he goes from being homeless to bombing around a Tesla and living in Encinitas in 60 days. Unbelievable. That's fun. A built life has the income they choose and are happy with that choice. There's some people in here that over the next couple of years will make a couple $1 million. And there's some people in here that over the next couple of years will make like 50 to 60K. That's cool. We can help you with either one. The idea is that you choose it. What we don't want is anybody in this room to say, you know, I need to make 100 grand this year. I have to have 100 grand, and then to end up at 50. That's not choosing and getting what you choose, right? Choose, be honest with yourself, and then let us help you get there. If you don't want to go be a killer, that's cool. We got a place for you. If you want to be a killer, awesome. We got a place for you. Actually, come talk to me specifically, because I want to work with that person specifically. But we've got plenty of people that don't have any interest in that. And I love and appreciate the hell out of you guys too. I just speak a slightly different language, so I can't necessarily teach you how to make 50K, but I can teach you how to make 500 if that's what you're interested in. Either way, we love and have a place for you. But as long as you choose the income that you want, and then you go get it. Make sense? Yes. Cool. A built life consistently adds value to the people around them. This place today, this meeting, is full of value. It's value rich. You guys have an opportunity to hear from a lot of great speakers. The next speaker is one of the best in the entire industry. He doesn't even freaking work here. I mean, he's one of the best in the business. A lot of value floating around the room today, guys. But it's not just our job to add value to you. It's your job to add value to each other, and damn sure it's your job to add value to us. When you guys give me a big response from a question that I ask right now, does that add value to me? Yes. Hell yeah, it does. It gives me energy. It makes me better up here. Add value to the people around you. That's how we get there together, and that's what somebody with a built life consistently does. A built life is somebody who has health of spirit, body, and mind, or at least is heading in the right direction there. Obviously, there's different level of spiritual body and mind fitness, spiritual body and mind health, but we want to help you get there. Again, it's not just about the money. It's not just about solar. If your personal life is in shambles and you're installing 100 a year, that's not a built life. Somebody I know on Facebook, I saw this post last night. A couple of you guys in the room know him. He posted a Tiger Woods quote that said, "Winning literally solves everything." And if you would have asked me before the age of probably 28, I would have absolutely agreed with that. And I commented back to his post. It said, "Says the guy with a broken body and a broken marriage." Because that's Tiger Woods, who I have the utmost admiration for. But winning hasn't solved his broken body or his broken marriage. And I bet he would trade a few of his wins to have a little bit more healthy spirit, body, and mind. So somebody with a built life is aware of that and has that. Somebody with a built life has total clarity on how to reach the next level in their life. Who's a rep in this room? About half the room. Who's a leader? Cool, we got a lot of leaders in this room. Great job. Guys, if you as reps and if you as leaders never want to go to the next level, that's perfectly okay. But you deserve to have the clarity on exactly how to get there. There's 2 words that I want you guys to remember leaving here. And then I want you to use if you're ever doubting clarity in this company. I want you to find your leader, if you're doubting clarity on how to get to the next level, what it looks like, and just say growth path, like a password. Growth path. Growth path. Just ask for one. Every single person deserves a growth path, even if you have no chance of ever getting it. Even if you're the worst, least talented individual in this room, and you're never going to crush this, you're never going to advance, it doesn't mean you don't deserve the clarity on exactly how to do it, if you so choose. So please, please, please make sure, because we pride ourselves on this, and a lot of you have received these from us, growth plans, growth paths in writing on exactly how to get to the next level. So you never have to doubt what it looks like. In writing, not, hey man, do this, let's talk next month, and hopefully it goes well if you grab a beer with me a couple times and you pick up the tab. I've been at companies like that. I didn't have any money to pick up the tab, so I never got promoted. But for real, guys, if you want to advance, make sure that you ask your leaders. And if your leaders, for some reason, are confused about how to deliver that growth plan to them or to you, they can come to me, or they can come to Bo, or they can come to Dan. Somebody with a built life has total clarity on how to reach the next level in their life and in their career. Make sense? Yes. Cool. A built life feels heard, safe, loved, and experiences the emotion they desire. Again, they have the feelings that they desire. They don't just hit their goals, they hit their actual emotional goals. What if you set goals based on the way that you wanted to feel? I want happiness. I want to be fulfilled. I want to feel like I'm successful. I want to feel like my parents love me. Most of us do. That would be a cool goal, right? It's about the feeling. So they actually experience the emotions that they want to feel on a regular basis. That's a built life to me, and to Dan and to Bo. You guys may have your own definition, that's fine. This is what we're after for you guys. If you feel like anything big is missing from here, we're happy to add this just to the company list of a built life. This is what we could come up with, and obviously we're flawed individuals, by no means perfect. So if I'm missing anything important, make sure that you guys let me know. Cool? Cool. Next slide, please. How to actually build. I'm going to run through this real quick. 36-month clarity and you're 90% ahead. What does that mean? We talked about doing this in 3 to 4 years. We're 6 months in. So 36 months from now, we're 3.5 years in. I encourage you guys to get very clear on what that looks like for you, where you're at in 36 months. And if you can have perfect clarity like the vision that I just showed you guys, your vision doesn't have to be ours, that's ours. But just the fact that we have one with a timeline puts us 90% ahead of everybody else. And will put you 90% ahead of everybody else if you have one for yourself. Because very few people have this. And if you have a vague idea of what you want, you're going to get vague results. If you're not sure what you want, you're probably not going to get it. And if you don't know where you're going, you're probably not going to end up there. So get it as crystal clear as you possibly can on what it is that you want, why you want it, how it's going to make you feel, and when you want it by. And if you're planning on being here for this run that we're on, I recommend some sort of 36-month timeline for you, because that's what we have in our heads, and it makes sense to sync up with that. Never let overthinking get in the way of overcoming, and lean in to the overcoming part. I've worked with a lot of different reps in this industry, and I've worked with a lot of different reps in this company. Oftentimes, especially when we start, for all you new people in the room, we can overthink everything. There's a guy here that I used to work with who's one of the best leaders in the entire industry now. And there was a specific competition, and I don't believe he'd ever sold more than 12 or 13, and he was a DM at the time. And I decided to push him as hard as I could for everybody's sake, because he was such a leader that I knew people would follow him. And he went from 13 to, I believe he sold 23 that month. And we were talking about it last night, and he basically said after I sold 23, I was so run down that I basically sat there and like rocked back and forth in the shower for 3 days, which I can relate to. And I was pushing him, so I know what it feels like to have me push me, because I push me all the time. And sometimes I rock back and forth in the shower too, because of the push that I give myself. But the point is, then he went back to selling, and I think he said he missed his first 2 or 3 deals and felt like he'd never sell again. After just selling 23 in a month, which by the way is the harness record. So he equaled the best month anybody's ever had at harness, and then he missed his next first 2 and he felt like he would never sell again. Was he letting overthinking get in the way of overcoming? For a temporary period, of course, he's a stud, so he got right back in the saddle and leaned into the overcoming. Guys, you have to appreciate moments like that. You have to appreciate the challenges and understand that they're opportunities. Because if you guys have ever played sports, what's the most fun games to win? The close game or the blowout? Every single time. When your life's a blowout, if it's super easy, is it going to be as fun as the close game? Hell no. The challenge is the opportunities. That's what makes it a close game. That's what makes this shit fun. When ops was tough to deal with for the first 6 months and tough to scale, that's what makes this fun, because when we have world-class ops, we're going to look back on that as the challenge, and that's what made this fun. That's what made this a close game. And that's what happens to you guys every single day in the field. You're gifted with the opportunity that makes your success or failure a really close freaking game, especially you closers out there. Some of you guys close, some of you girls close 4 to 6 a month. You screw up on 2 of those, you make half as much money that month. That's a close game. You do an exceptional job with 2 of those, you make almost double as much money that month. That's a close game. That's part of what makes this industry beautiful, and life's the same way. So lean in to the overcoming and never let overthinking get in the way. Understand again that we're focused on value, and we have a finish line, guys. Imagine if you were running a race and you never knew when it was going to end, versus the person that's going to run a 26-mile race. Who runs faster? Every single time, because they know where their finish line is. We have a finish line. We're not looking to ride off into the sunset after we sell this thing, but we have a distinct finish line where you guys and all of us in this room can achieve massive success and massive wealth. We have a finish line. I've never seen that in this industry. I'm sure it exists in other industries, but I don't believe anybody has a finish line in this industry right now. It's a gift. Use it, and make sure you have a finish line on your vision as well, because you'll be able to run faster and you'll enjoy it a lot more. Be firm on the goal and open to the path. There's a man, a legend in this room, an absolute fucking legend. His name is Landon Fernelius. Guys, Landon's one of the greatest closers to ever walk the planet. He sold more solar than anybody in this room. And at the beginning of the year, and that was his goal, right? Just to be one of the best, to make a bunch of money, to ride a bunch of waves. And at the beginning of the year, I asked one of the greatest closers to ever walk the planet, hey man, what do you think about never closing a deal again? And he's like, what are you talking about? No. 12 years he's been doing this at the highest level. And because he was firm on the goal, but open to the path, the way that he actually got to the goal, he was open-minded about it. He transitioned out of what he's done best, better than almost anybody on the planet for the last 12 years, into prime, which some would say is a huge step back for him. Some would say it shackles and takes away his best talent. But we had a couple of different ideas about what his best talent was, and he saw that vision. He was open to the path, and since then he's doubled the Prime program and will have more success this year than he's maybe ever had his entire life, especially if you judge success by building lives, because he's impacting Prime on a day-to-day basis. He's impacting people on a day-to-day basis like I've never seen him do in his 12-year career.
Let's go, Lando!
Firm on the goal, open to the path. Be like Landon. Always remember, failure is the process by which we become better. You guys have all heard this before in some way, shape, or form. Fail forward, fall forward, whatever it may be. Understand, the guys, that your failures is literally the process by which you become better. Without them, you will not get better. The most successful people in this room are the ones who have failed the most, the ones who have literally shit the bed the most, the ones who have fucked up the most. They're the most successful people in this room. So if you think that you're not qualified to be great at this, if you think you just don't have the talent, if you think you've made too many mistakes, if you think you just don't have your headspace together, understand that the only difference between you and the most successful people in the room is they just kept pushing. They just did it a few more times. They just learned from their actual failures. They didn't continue to repeat them, but they didn't run away from them. They ran towards them. As Dan said, embrace the pain and understand failure is the process by which we become better. It will help you build your life. And then know the difference between a built person and a regular person. There's a lot of them, right? One distinctive difference I've noticed is a built person, or between a built person and a regular person, is the average person, a regular person, sees either blessings or curses. Like things are either good or bad. I'm either blessed or I'm cursed. I'm having a great day or I'm having a bad day. Like I have no control over it. The built individual sees wins and challenges only. Wins and challenges. Wins meaning something I earned. I've never been lucky in my life. Every piece of luck I've ever earned, every piece of luck that I've ever seen a successful person get, they've earned. You earn your luck, you literally make your own luck. And then they see those bad things, those cursings or the curses, the bad things, the slam doors, whatever it may be, they see them as challenges. They don't even use the word bad day. They don't even really use the word problem. They don't even use the word, hey man, I have an issue. What sounds better? I have an issue or I have a challenge? What would I rather face? What would you rather face? Hey man, like I've been having a lot of problems recently. You know, my girlfriend doesn't like me. I just not feeling up to knocking doors, you know. I think I need a month off. You know? I just had too many problems recently. Versus, I've been having a lot of challenges recently, man. Can you teach me how to get through these? It's a completely different approach, and it's just a slight word difference, but the built individual understands this very clearly. You guys understand it? Yes. Cool, next slide. Last one. So I have a very clear ask for you guys. It's enjoy the ride, it's build your life. And I have a quick story to finish my presentation. Who's heard of Michael Jordan? Who watched The Last Dance? That was good, right? Even if you're not a sports fan, I would recommend watching it. I'm not a documentary guy, but an incredible documentary. You guys may or may not remember this scene from one of the last episodes. It's right before Jordan plays that game where he hits what should have been his final shot of his career and beats the Jazz for his 6th title. He's 38 years old, like the true badass he is. He's laying on the couch smoking a cigar right before the game. And they're asking him, like, what are you most excited about when it's all over? And he says, I'm just excited for it to be over. Like, I just want it to end, man. Like, everything. I'm excited for all of it to be over. I'm excited for the fans to go away, the pressures, the challenges, the game, the workouts, just playing basketball. I'm excited for it to all be over. And that struck me. It was a little strange to hear from Jordan, especially strange to see that he had that mindset, and then he goes out and has one of the best games of all time, considering his age and the shot he hit and everything like that. But didn't really take too much note of it until about 6 months later. I read an article, and I don't remember where this article was. It wasn't a very popular article, but it was written by a guy who went and interviewed Jordan when he was 50 years old. It was right after his 50th birthday. And keep in mind, this was 12 years ago when he had said this. So 12 years later in life, they interview him, and the interviewer asked him a great question. He's like, what do you want now? You know, you're the only black athlete that became worth $1 billion, considered one of the greatest athletes, greatest basketball players of all time. You're successful as an owner, do whatever the hell you want. Like, what could you possibly want now? And Jordan pointed at a picture behind his desk, and he's like, that's what I want. And it was a picture of him, picture of himself. And the reporter asked him, like, what do you mean? He's like, that's what I want. I want 216. And the reporter was confused. He said, of course. He said, what do you mean, man? Like, what's 216? And he's like, that's 216. And it was a picture of him dunking on somebody way back in the day. And the reporter's like, I don't understand what you mean. What's 216? And Jordan says, 216 was my fighting weight. 216 was when I was the most lethal weapon on the planet. 216 was when I was in my prime. And I would give up every single day of my life for the rest of my life to spend one more day at 216. He said, I've done enough. All I want to do is be 216 for one more day. Do you think he was enjoying the ride when he was 38 years old and he wanted it all to end? The most present man on the planet, that was always what he was given praise for, as being the most present athlete in the world. They said with all his skills, with all his talents, the best talent Michael Jordan had was he was just incredibly present in the moment. But during this interview, when he was 38 years old, he couldn't enjoy the ride. He couldn't enjoy the moment. He just wanted it all to be over. He couldn't be grateful for what he had right in front of him. He couldn't be grateful for being 216. 12 years later, the greatest competitor of our time, arguably, would give up the rest of his life to spend one more day at 216. So my ask for you guys is, of course, to define a vision, but to enjoy the ride along the way. This is part of the ride. The no's are part of the ride. Every single step, every smile, every selfie, every meeting, every drive, every tear that you might shed on the doors, it's part of the ride. We have this tendency as human beings to have a really hard time enjoying the ride. We have like this thing in our head where it's almost like we have a bunch of little avatars that we just like send into the future, right? It's like, hey man, how's it going over there? Like, how's it going 2 years down the road? And the avatar always said, oh, it's gonna be way better once you get here. Sucks where you're at now. It'll be way better over here. It rarely is, especially if you don't enjoy the ride. The grass is green where you water it. So my ask is that you guys enjoy the ride that we're on right now, that you enjoy the present moment as much as you can, that you enjoy the build that we're going through with this company, because it's an absolutely beautiful process. And once you enjoy the ride now, it will help you clearly define the vision that you want in the future. Define it as much as you can. Set it in stone, and then let it go. And just enjoy the ride, man. Let the avatars rest. Know that right where we're at right now, this moment, this team, this company, this dream, this vision, it's a beautiful freaking thing. We don't know what happens next. We don't know if this is our 216. But I do know that it's a beautiful place that we're in right now, and it's a beautiful place that we're going to be in tomorrow. So I'm trying to enjoy the ride as much as I possibly can. So my simple ask is that you guys define your vision, enjoy your ride, and unite in this vision, and unite to build 1,000 lives. That's what I got. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, we are almost there. Please lock in for the next 20 minutes because this was so special. Every one of you means so much to us that we went out and we wanted to bring the absolute best speaker, best looking, most impactful speaker we could find. They were unavailable. Unfortunately, we landed on this guy, Riley Traveler. I want to give him a fair introduction. This person is the reason that I'm in solar. I would not be standing in front of you today, definitively, absolutely impossible, if Riley didn't find me. And, dude, what the fuck is the matter with me? What is it? I was bartending and serving. I was in Arizona trying to extend my baseball career. Lost. Lucky to get out of Idaho even in the first place. And Riley comes up and plays golf with me and tells me about this Solar City thing. Totally recruited me. Didn't even slow played me. Told me on the 10th hole. And actually was the guy that gave me my first promotion at Solar City. Is one of the nicest and best guys. He's currently running a company as a CEO of Boundless Energy, doing almost 600 sales and over 300 installs a month. So this dude knows what the fuck he's talking about. So please give a very warm welcome for one of my best friends in the whole world, Riley Traveler.
You're a pussy.
Alright. VIP.
Hey, very nice. Okay. Okay.
I would dance, but I'm the shittiest dancer in the room, guaranteed. 6 or 7 about Owen. But I do want to say before I start, and probably about most people that I come in contact with, is everybody's looking for a ticket. Everybody's looking for a ride. Everybody's looking for a way to improve their lives or to get on the right bus or whatever it may be. Anybody? All of a sudden, it's like, holy shit, you're really excited about it in the very beginning, and then you start to take it for granted over time, and then that just becomes your normal life. Well, a lot of people live pretty shitty lives. They don't have a ticket. But there's good tickets and there's bad tickets too. So here's what I've noticed about good tickets, okay? A good ticket that you want, like I don't want a ticket to the shittiest carnival. Like I want to go to 6 Flags, Not, I don't know, 3 Flags or 2 Flags. That would suck. I don't want that ticket. But here's what I've noticed, okay? Good tickets have a couple of things in common, okay? One, if you find yourself on a bus or you have a ticket on a train or whatever that ride may be, or this wave, right? You can't sell tickets to the beach, though, so fucked up my analogy a little bit. Oh, you can in Jersey? Fuck Jersey, man. Yeah. Fucking. I have a soft spot in my heart for New Jersey, though. That's kind of where my solar career, that's really where it took off. So, I didn't even make a joke yet. But I appreciate that. But no, what I've noticed about the right ticket and the things those things have in common. Okay, leadership and the people that you're around is literally everything. It's everything. It's the only thing that matters. Everything can suck, but if the people are right, all of those things that suck will get better. If the people are wrong, the things that suck will get worse. Every time. I love hearing the stories of, I knew when you guys went out and you bought the installation company. Okay? Super psyched, super hyphy. Everybody's, stoked, as Bo would say. Dude. Anyway, he's from he's a potato farmer, okay? Like, masquerading, look at your hair, what would people think? The hair in this building, by the way, Owen moves to California, and then next thing I know, he's a fucking hippie, it's crazy. But I'm gonna go way over 20 minutes probably, but anyway, what I noticed, it's all about the people, right? And people, what are you looking for in those people? Well, you have to be around people that have been there and done it, because if you can't see it, you probably won't be it. So you gotta be around somebody that can show you what it looks like, can show you how it's done, And once you're around those people, all of a sudden you start picking shit up, and you start picking it up pretty quickly because that's kind of what we do. That's how we became adults or kids. We learned how to walk. Nobody taught you how to walk. You just saw people walking and you did it. Nobody taught you how to speak. You just heard and watched people speak and then you did it. So when you're surrounded by people that are doing it, all of a sudden that's pretty magnetic and you can learn all of those things. So one, you have to have people that know what the fuck they're doing. Okay, they have to have walked in your shoes before, and they have to have led a really good path and created a wake behind them. So that's important. Okay, but I know a lot of people that are really good. Who's ever met a really talented asshole? The better they get, the bigger asshole they become. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, pleasure to meet all of you. No. So, problem is, right, I'm not really talented. So, just an asshole. So you find those people very talented, right? Here's what I'll say about Owen and Bo and Dan Dunn, okay? The reason I'm here, I have a very, very high level of respect for these guys. Bo was one of my best friends from middle school. I wasn't allowed to hang out with him very much in high school because my parents wouldn't let me. But then I moved out of their house and we got to hang out again, which is pretty cool. So, but Bo's a guy, he's a guy, like, obviously, huge softie. What have you cried twice today? So fucking embarrassing. So, twice today he's cried. But what I love about Bo is, Bo's extremely talented. My favorite thing about Bo is when he gets disappointed, when somebody snubs him. Has anybody ever seen this happen? It's a phenomenon. You snub Bo, he will fucking kill you. Like, you will not snub him twice. Okay? We laugh all the time because when Bo moved to Twin Falls, Idaho, he got cut from the baseball team. He didn't get picked for the 12-year-old baseball team.
Done.
I know, and like I said, what a pathetic loser. It's a 12-year-old team, like how bad can you be? Anyway, as we all went on, right, guess what? There was only 2 people that went and played college baseball. Bo was one of them. Right? There was only one of those people that had a bunch of accolades in college baseball. It was Bo.
There you go, Bo.
But those accolades, no. Those accolades didn't pay him any money. He was fucking broke. And then we played golf one day and he started doing solar. So, anyway, I say that about Bo. What I love about Bo is Bo will literally give you the shirt off of his back. So you're surrounded, that's a leader right there that knows the way to go and will literally die for you. He will do whatever it takes to make something happen for you. He's got a huge heart. That's very, very important. When I started working with Owen Santos, okay, I didn't like Owen. No, that's not true. I kind of liked Owen, but I thought he thinks he's too cool for school. And maybe it was just me that thought that, but that's what I thought. And nobody even laughed because some of them are thinking it. They're like, I'm not gonna expose myself. But anyway, there was this one night, we had like a leadership retreat, and when we got to drinking, and I don't know what happened, but we stayed up all night together, we broed down, and then I came downstairs the next morning, and Owen was laying on the floor, and the furniture was just all over the place. I think we wrestled, and I beat him, and then he respected me after that. Because I didn't wake up sore or anything, but there was evidence that we fought or something. Anyway. So, but Owen's a guy, like, I started working with Owen, we kind of like, we broke down a little bit, we're like, we should work together instead of just competing all the time, and like, let's just share ideas. You guys see Owen's, like, he's so good on like Keynote and like his PowerPoint presentations. Well, I got news for you guys, okay? I showed him that. That's me, okay? Give me the credit. I'm just kidding. No, but I was dabbling around with Keynote, and I came up on a couple conference calls, and I put together some pretty sick keynotes. And Owen's like, shit, like that's pretty sick. And then Owen comes the next week, better keynote. I'm like, fuck. And but Owen's a guy, I respect the shit out of Owen because Owen works harder than anybody that I know. He's one of the most disciplined people on planet Earth. And just working with you, that was probably the year that I grew the most when we started working so closely together, because just trying to one-up each other constantly, but never in a negative way. Like, he's a guy, you're gonna level up. You're working with Owen, like, you're gonna level the fuck up. You'll feel like an idiot if you don't. Like, you come, like, if I lived by Owen, like, I would be in way better shape, because I'd be embarrassed to see him, He'd be like, are you working? You're not working out. And then, Dan Dunn, obviously, this is my whole 20 minutes, I guess. Dan, I never worked super closely with Dan, but Dan was a guy when I was on the East Coast at Solar City. Dan was on the West Coast just crushing in California. And he was just one of those guys that over the course of time, anything I'd ever heard about him, I knew his reputation because I'd seen his production, I'd seen his performance and what he could do. So his numbers spoke for themselves. But then I started meeting people that knew Dan, and everybody said the same things about Dan. He's an amazing guy. He's honest. He leads by example. Like, he's just a guy you can trust, And then what I see here with like this trio that you guys have as your leaders, like I'm very confident in saying it's one of, I like my leadership team pretty well, but let's take them out of the picture, and I would say I think it's the best leadership team in solar. Let's go! Yeah. And the wave and, the stock options and like that whole play, it's like money is, somebody said to me one time, I was recruiting him, and he's like, well, besides the money, why should I come work with you? And I'm like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. I'm like, besides the money? I'm like, the money tells the fucking story, dude. Like, where the money goes and like how it's like someone's willing to pay you more, that means they value you more. I'm speaking with dollars. Okay, so if someone's not willing to, they value you less. Like, that's, the money tells the story. Money doesn't lie. What do you mean, besides the money? Okay, I value you more. We value our people more. This, that, and the other thing. And the evidence of that is the fucking money. So don't come to me and say, besides the money. It's like, I'm telling you all these great things evidenced by the money. And so the money tells the story, right? What are these guys doing? They're saying, we want to build this company, but what do we want to do? We want to build it, we want to have an exit, and we want to share that exit. The money tells the fucking story. Who are these guys? The money tells the story. There you go. The evidence is there. So look around this room. It's a pretty fucking small room right now for how much volume you guys are moving. It's a pretty small room for where this train is moving to and where it's going to go. I'm very fucking confident these guys are going to pull it off. You guys collectively are going to pull it off, and gals, I should say all of y'all. I was in Texas. What's that? Who's the hillbilly now? Me, dude. I'm fucking hillbilly. Yeah. So, anyway, big props to all of you guys. I just wanted to touch on that for a minute before I get into some stuff that I don't even know how good it's going to be, but this, right? The feeling of this is brand new. We're talking the first options we're just giving out. So you're looking at this room, and what's going to happen is this whole thing is going to be a blur in like 3 to 4 years from now. And you're going to remember sitting in this room and it being really tight and really small and like the culture being really, really strong. And then as you guys grow, things start to dilute a little bit, and more people need to step up as leaders. And those leaders are going to be less trained and less qualified, and they're going to have to turn it up and grow into the people that they need to be. And then they're going to have to deliver that culture, and it's all going to come and it's all going to pass by, and you're going to remember how small this fucking room was right now, and how, let me tell you one story, okay? This isn't even part of I haven't gone into any slides, but just kind of winging it, which is what I do sometimes. Okay, one story. When I was brand new at Solar City, I came and I joined the team, and I used to sell alarms door to door, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's a brutal business. I did not enjoy it very much. I enjoyed the money, kind of, but just the job and the product, I didn't love it. So I come into solar and I learn what solar is. I'm like, holy shit, it's free and it saves them money. Like, how do you not sell this it's so fucking easy. Does everybody understand, like, just real quick, like, it's so fucking easy. It's the best product in the world. And like, if we're struggling to sell, what your number is, I don't know what your average number of deals is in a month, but I'm telling you right now, like, if it's not 6, 7, or 8 every single month, like, you need to just, you need to step it up a little bit, okay? Because it's so fucking easy. It's free. It doesn't cost any money. So just want to remind anybody that if you're not quite there yet, like, just remind yourself that it's really fucking easy. You just got to dial some things in, and guess what? You're surrounded by people that know what to do, so you just got to ask them and then do it. It's not that fucking hard, So anyway, I'm a brand new rep at Solar City. I realize it's free. I'm like, I am going to destroy everyone in this office. It's free. They're not even good at sales. I am. I know how to knock doors. I know how to get inside somebody's house. I'll fucking sign them up $65.99 right now. Shitty solar system, or shitty alarm system. Not even very good. $65.99 every month. No problem. Solar's free, easy. So I come in. I do really well. Really well. Okay? Then guess what? there's this guy, and they're starting to talk about like some promotions that might be happening, and there's this guy that's actually beating me. But I'm better than him. I was just a little lazier than he was. Just being honest. I was young. And I knew I could just kick this dude's ass if I wanted to, but I just didn't want to. I was doing fine, you know? And guess what happened? A couple months in. This is about my 9-month mark on the team and at the company. They promoted this dude ahead of me. And I felt like such a lazy piece of shit for letting somebody come in and take what was literally mine for the taking. It was there. It'd be so easy. Again, solar's fucking free. So it would be so easy to go out and sell a lot of it, and I just didn't because I was lazy. And what happened was, talk about what you learn from getting snubbed. I just felt snubbed, and I felt shitty about it. And probably some of you in this room have experienced this before, where you're actually really fucking good. You can produce really, really well, but you don't produce that much because you have a little bit of a lazy bone in your body that you succumb to from time to time. And then you've probably watched people get promoted, maybe even in this room ahead of you, knowing that if you just gave more of a fuck, you would do better and you would have those opportunities. So here's one thing I'll just remind everybody to do is just learn from my mistake if you haven't had to go through that yourself. Just learn from my mistake. I learned from it. I did it one time, and then after that, I decided I was never going to feel that way again. Because it's just a shitty way to feel, knowing that you should have had something, could have had something, and you didn't. Why? Because you just didn't try. And that's such a disappointing story. And so now what you guys are all a part of, this is something, my company's not doing this. I might steal this idea. I've stolen ideas from you guys before. I've gotten caught red-handed, not embarrassed about it. So, but anyway, not every company does this. I don't think every company has the leadership to actually pull this off, and I don't think that every company, even if they had the leadership to pull it off, I don't think they have the integrity to actually do it. And I think that what you're sitting in is pretty special, and so I just wanted to remind everybody that, you have to go and make this stuff happen, and you actually can, because once again, solar's fucking free. So you can sell a lot of it. It's free, so you can sell a bunch. Let's go into, so I find myself sometimes, you guys might run into this occasionally, where you're thinking about a thing that's maybe holding you back, and you're like, man, if I, one of my favorites is just if we just had a better fucking red line, I'd sell more deals. Or if our fucking technology was better, if I could just I would sell more. If our proposal tool was better, or if our design tool, all these things that there's probably a gazillion things, actual number, that you could do better as a company. Dan, am I correct? You're probably like me. You wake up in the morning, you think about all the shit you suck at, and it just bothers you all day, and you try and go around fixing them one by one, but they just never end. And that's what it is. There's a million of those things. And so, but we always kind of sometimes fall into the trap of man, if I only had this, if I had a lower red line, or solar's free again, so it really doesn't matter what your red line is. It's free, so you can sell a bunch of it. But if I had this, right, then I would be better. Then I would. If I would have known, this is me back at Solar City, the guy getting snubbed, right? If I would have known they were going to do a promotion, I would have fucking won the promotion. I just didn't know it. So, not on me. They should have told me it was coming. I would have sold more. They should have given me more accolades. I would have sold more. They should have recognized me more. I would have done better. So I'm going to give you guys a little formula. Would you mind just going to the next one? This is a super duper. All right, fucking phones off, no recording. Super duper secret shit right here. Super secret. That's fine. Yeah. So, super secret, okay? This is a meditation formula that I do anytime I catch myself having some of these thoughts, right? So I want everybody to follow along with me here. So just take a deep breath. Think about some of these issues that are problems, that if they were just away, you would then finally do what you're capable of doing. And I want you to think about those things. And I want you to lift your hand up, put it about, I don't know, not all the way extended, just right here in the middle where it's comfortable. Look at your hand. Get intimate with it. Look deep into the windows of the soul of your hand. Check out the lines. How's it fit? Okay, everybody with their hand, you got it. You're looking at it really good. Next time you have one of these thoughts, I want you to put your hand up just like this, right here. Look at it. And then I want you to smack yourself in the fucking face really, really hard. okay? Because what happens is our mind is wired to trick us into believing that nothing's our fault, ever. We're perfect. Everybody else is the problem. Anybody ever run into this? Who's ever been to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting? Nice, very nice. Some people are like, I ain't not offering that information up. Well, I'll tell you what. I used to work in college. I didn't go to rehab. I might have needed to a little bit, but I didn't. But in college, I worked at a place, and I would like transport these troubled youth, and sometimes we go to like NA meetings or AA meetings. And like one of the central tenets of fixing your addiction is the acceptance that every single problem in your life is your own fucking fault. So every problem is your own fault. Everything that you don't have is your fault. Everything that you're missing, everything that, it's all your fault. But on the flip side of that, you want to flip slides for me? The positive side of that, because that sounds a little bit negative, right? Everything's your fault, you piece of shit. No, like it's not that negative. The cool thing about it is, actually what that really means on the inverse is, you already are and already have everything that you need. You already have it. There's nothing more that you need to start tapping into your full potential or start tapping into what you're capable of doing. You literally already have it. What you think you're missing, that's some bullshit lies that your mind is telling you, because listen, we're just a bunch of cavemen, right? Some of us a little closer to that than, some of us are a little more evolved, right? Then you got Bo, pretty close to, right? But we're all pretty evolved from cavemen, but our minds still work the same way. We have this old reptilian brain that wants to defend us all the time. And so I just wanted to talk about that just a little bit, because I run into this trap too, and that's when I do the meditation. I look at my fucking hand. I stare intimately at my hand, and then I smack myself in the fucking face. Can I get the next one? Because listen, this is an actual quote. There is literally not a single thing in the entire world that a good hard slap cannot instantly fix. I can't confirm that that's true, but I've heard that from many people that he said that. So let's go to the next one. I want to shift gears a little bit, okay? Cool? Little gear change? All right, we're going this way. Other way. Okay. So sometimes I don't know everything. I pretend to sometimes, though, which is pretty fun. But I really don't. But sometimes people will come to me looking for answers, thinking that I know, like, I'm a fucking idiot from Idaho, okay? I just learned how to sell solar because it's free, right? So, like, it's not that hard. So, but they'll come to me and they'll be like, yo, like, I need some help with this, or I'm having this problem. It's a big problem. Like, you know, can you help me out with it? Anybody have an issue they're trying to deal with or overcome? Anybody? I'm not going to call on you. Just raise your hand if you do. Like, you. No, I'm just kidding. Sucker. Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes people come in and like, there's like two sides of me. There's like one side of me that's like, I just want to help people all the time and just be really nice and friendly. And then the other side of me is just like, I just want to be an asshole. Like, I just want to be a dick right now. And so that's what I do sometimes. And this actually turned into a really positive thing, because I was just an asshole to somebody one day, and then they came back to me, they're like, hey, that was super impactful and helpful. Thank you so much. And I'm like, wow, that was enjoyable for me. But yeah, wow, I've found my calling. But they'll come to me, they'll have these problems, and I'll say, okay, I'll help you with your problem. Not going to help you with your problem, because it's not your actual problem. This is where I go with this, okay? So everybody coming to me, imagine you're coming to me like, yo, Riley, I got this thing. And I'll be like, cool, oh yeah, I'll help you, man. I'll help you. You're like, yeah, how do I fix this? I'm like, fuck your thing. Let's do this. And I'll say, open your calendar. So everybody open your phone. Grab your phone. Open your fucking calendar. Turn it sideways so you can look at your week view, okay? Is everybody looking at their calendar? Can I see some of them? You want to show me?
Oh, it's on my personal. I don't have one.
What do you got? The fuck is that? What are you taking every day off? The fuck? Are you? That's a little better. That's a little better. Well, dude, I don't give a fuck. That's decent. It's decent. What else you got? That's a lot. That's better. I'm not going to give you too much. I would still talk shit to you. If you came to me, we had this conversation, I'd pretend that sucked, but that's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. What do you got? Oh, come on. Oh, man. Okay. Well, most everybody here would fail the test, right? So give me the next slide. So this right here, this is what I see a lot. I'm like, yeah, show me your calendar. And they're like, oh yeah, dude, here. And if there's like a California guy, he'd be like, yeah, bro, like, I got this on this day, I have these appointments. I'd be like, dude, like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's trash. That's absolute trash. Like, you want to know why you don't make 500 grand? Solar's free, by the way, so you should make 500 grand, okay? But the reason you don't is because your calendar is absolute shit. Look at that. Like, this, anybody's calendar look like this? Be honest. Raise your hand if your calendar looks pretty sparse. So I'll look at somebody's calendar, and they'll put, I did this in a team meeting. We had about 40 people together, and I put one of them, I'm like, who's got the best calendar? This guy's like, me. I'm like, all right, let's put that shit up on the board. He throws it up on the board. It looks like this. I'm like, dude, what the, like, you have no bearing or like understanding of what, and this is, I guess, my fault, so let's talk about it. But if I were to look at somebody's calendar, I'd say, okay, well, like, what the hell is, like, what's this? What the hell are you doing here? Where is this? Like, what are you doing? You're just waking up and haphazardly just going through the day so that whatever happens is just what you ass backwardsly fell into? Like, well, I went to the store because I felt like it 5 minutes before I went, realized I needed some Cheerios. It's like, okay, but like you're literally just wasting your time. Time is so valuable. This is one thing I learned. You came to me and was asking me like, hey, what's some advice? And I'm like, oh shit, I don't have any good advice, but let me think of something. I'll make something up real quick. But we talked about this. And you said, what would I do what would I give myself advice about, my younger self? And I say, understanding the value of just a little bit of time. Like you can really focus, and if you actually just dive in on something, you can move the needle a lot in a little amount of time. I'm going to get into that in just a second. I want to pause and show you guys something. So give me the next slide. So what you can do, I don't know if you guys know this, but in Google Calendar, you can have multiple different calendars, right? And then you can toggle them on and off so they'll layer on top of each other. So anytime somebody's come to me, I said, cool, first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a schedule for you that's your ideal week. What your ideal week should look like. Because if you know what your perfect week looks like, one, you're never actually going to have a perfect week. You're always going to have shit come in and out of play that you can't control. But for the most part, when you find yourself twiddling your thumbs and all that stupid white space that you have on your calendar, you know what you should be doing to make use of that time. So what you can do here, I'm just going to show you, this is really quick. This is a little technical training, okay? I'm really good with technology. Those are screenshots from Google right here. Boom. What do? Plus button. See the plus button? That's how you create a calendar. Then create new calendar. Then up here, you can name it. I name it the ideal week. What's my perfect week look like? Then you get the next one. Then you start plugging shit in. Okay? So you should toggle this on and off that will layer over or behind your actual work calendar. Okay? So then what's going to happen is, you're going to set, I want to wake up, you can set it up to repeat. I want to repeat it daily or weekly on Mondays or every other week or whatever. You can customize how often they repeat. You can set up reminders for yourself that it just buzzes every 5 minutes or 5 minutes before the event or whatever it may be. But you can set this stuff up so that you can try and design your optimum lifestyle and then know that that's what you fall back on when you find yourself wondering what to do, or if you find yourself falling into the trap of just ass backwardsly getting whatever falls into your lap, which you probably have done before, right? Who's woken up 5 minutes before a Zoom call and just logged into it? I did that this morning, actually. No, actually I did not. That's a lie. That's a lie. I woke up at fucking 5 a.m., prepped for an hour and a half, and then ran a call at 6:30. Let's go. Not to brag, but I did it. Okay. So, next slide, please. Then what you can do, you can just toggle this on and off, okay? So, go to the next one. What I would look for here is like, one, like, are you scheduling like your personal health and like fitness stuff, right? Like, which obviously I do. Irregularly, but it's scheduled. So, but then the next piece is, right? Prospecting, like when am I grinding? Like when is my absolute like grind time that I'm moving the needle the most? When am I doing the hardest shit? And you want to probably schedule the hardest shit for when you feel the best. Like when do you know you typically have energy? When do you know this is good? Schedule that hard stuff for those times. Then when am I planning? Like when are you planning during the week? Are you planning your week, on Sunday night? Or are you planning it on Friday evening before the weekend? Are you planning? When are you planning? The next question I have is, when are you shadowing or when are you practicing? Like, I like watching the NBA. Basketball players, they shoot so many shots, ridiculous amounts of shots, their whole lives. Hundreds of thousands, millions and millions of shots they shoot. They are so good at shooting the basketball. But before a game, have you noticed that they go out and they fucking shoot like 200 shots before the games? Like they've been shooting their whole lives. What, they're not prepared? It's like, no, because there's practice, right? And then there's like getting polished, like getting warmed up. Okay? When are you getting warmed up during the day? What are your 5 most common objections, and how quickly are you rattling through those? Or are you just ass backwardsly, haphazardly practicing your first objection the first time you get it on the door? Or the first time you get it in the house. And then you're like, ah, shit. I know how to do that, but it wasn't reflexive, so I missed it. They're like, yeah, we're not interested. You're like, oh, no problem. We'll, like, all right. Then you walk away, you're like, damn, I know how to do that one. Okay, well, you got to practice. You got to warm up. You got to be polished, right? That's what pro athletes do, is they go get polished up before a game, even though they've been practicing their entire lives. So next thing is, when are you coaching? Like, do you have somebody that you coach that makes you a better person and better salesperson or better door knocker or whatever it is, somebody that you're teaching? Like, that stuff makes you better. When you teach, you get better. So when are you doing something like that? And especially if you're in management, like, when are you coaching? When are you training? Okay, when are you dealing with your personal finances and having this stuff scheduled? How many people here randomly pay their bills as they pop up throughout the month, or randomly just take care of financial stuff as it comes throughout the month? Cool, well, you could probably just schedule 15 minutes and do that one time each week, and then you don't even have to think about it. It's off your plate. Probably should do that. It's a better way. All my shit's on autopay except for one bill. And I always forget to pay it on time. Okay, when are you setting goals? When are you reviewing your goals? So am I setting goals for the week? Okay, am I doing that every single week? Do you even need to set goals every week? I disagree. I would set goals for the year, and then I would know what my goal is every week already, because I already did that. My goal is to make $300,000. I need to have 60, 70, whatever the number is. I need to have this many installs, which means I need to have this many sales each week. So I don't need to set goals what a waste of fucking time to set new goals every week. Don't you have a goal that you're living and dying by? Then you don't need to set them every week. Sorry to offend anybody that thought that was a good idea, but it's not, because you already have your goal set, because you know what your target is, you know what your goal is every single week. It shouldn't move unless you start beating it all the time, then you can move it up. But just because you're missing it down, you should never lower it. You just need to be better. Solar's free, so we should be able to sell more of it, okay? So when are you doing all those things? And then when you have your time filled out and your ideal week is filled out, that's when somebody comes to me and they go, hey, I have a problem. I say, cool, open up your calendar, and I'll look at it. I'll go, sick, what's your issue? And they say, I'm really having a hard time with this. And I'll go, well, let's see if we can fix it now, or can we schedule a time? Is this something that is a recurring problem that you need to get into your schedule so that you're fixing it constantly? Is it requiring constant maintenance, or is it a one-time fix? Is it, new tires, or is it an oil change? And you get that stuff scheduled, and then you rock it. Let's go to the next one. So my little phrase here is, show me your calendar, I will show you how much money you're leaving on the table. Most calendars are leaving money on the table. Most people have lived their lives haphazardly. Okay, so you're just it's happening to you. And don't get me wrong, like it's okay to shut it off from time to time. Like, you don't have to be maniacal about always taking action all the time. Like, you got your weekends, you got your time to unplug. Schedule some of that stuff too, so you can unplug. But for the most part, let's get the thing scheduled. You want to be here. Everybody's in this room for a reason. You don't have to be sitting down in this room right now. You could actually get up and walk away right now. But you're not, so I assume that you want to do really good shit with your life. And so let's schedule those things in that you know are what it's going to take to get you to the level that you want to be at. Get it scheduled. Schedule practice. Practice. Here's the next thing I'll go to, okay? How long would it take you to actually build an ideal week for yourself on your calendar?
10 minutes.
Who said that? You're a fucking genius.
It's on the screen.
I know. That was the joke. All right, so this happens all the time, and I'm guilty of this too. but so often it's like, how long, it would take literally like 10 minutes, maybe 20, to build out what you think would be your ideal week on a calendar. It would take 20 minutes to do it. It would have a major impact, I believe, on your success, on what you're able to achieve, on your production, on all of those things. It would move the needle a lot. And it would take you 20 fucking minutes. And most people are gonna let it take 2 weeks or maybe not even do it at all. Like, why? I went into our call center the other day. Here's a quick story about how awesome I am. So, nobody thought this. I thought it was funny. It was ironic. Because I don't think I'm that awesome. So, I go down to the call center, and I felt like we're getting inbound calls, like, you know, you're marketing, you're getting leads coming in and trying to convert them, and I'm wondering, I'm like, why are we not converting? Like, the leads are coming in, we're just not converting them to contracts. And so I go in, I'm listening to some calls, and I'm like, well, there's the problem. The calls were shitty. The reps weren't very good on the phone. They like weren't selling. They were just like order taking. It was like, you're not going to sell. You have to sell it. Like, it's free, but you still have to sell it. So I go in, I'm like, all right, let's rework this script. Let's put a little more sales in there. Let's put a couple little takeaways in there. Let's just align the script. So we go align the script, and I go down there, our call center manager. I'm like, all right, man, how long is it going to take us to get these 6 people trained up on this script? And he goes, I don't know, 3 weeks. Sucker, fell right into my trap. I'm like, oh yeah, 3 weeks. He's like, yeah, but 2 to 3. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I bet you I can have them knowing the script and doing it by this afternoon. I just need 1 hour with them. And he's like, okay, call a meeting. Boom, they came into the meeting. We went over the script. We practiced it relentlessly. We talked about what it was for about 10 minutes because me talking about it for an hour probably wouldn't move the needle a lot. And then we practiced it for about 40 minutes. And then we talked just a little bit more. And then we sent them off to their chairs with their headsets. And I'm sitting back in the call center manager's office, and we're listening to the calls. And they're going in pretty good. And he looks at me, and I'm like, 3 fucking weeks. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can fix things so fast. You can get better so fast. Who's the best salesperson that you know? Okay. What's the thing that you're struggling with the most?
Reaching out for help.
That's what most people struggle with, because we all have egos. We think that if we ask for help, somebody's going to think that we're dumb or something, or incapable or whatever, like it's some sign of weakness. Like, the best thing as a leader is when somebody comes to you for help, which is why I treat them like shit when they do. So they keep coming back for more. It's a negative reinforcement psychology. So that's like not even how that works. So some of you guys know psychology like that. It's not even negative. That's not even negative reinforcement. You missed the definition. But you know, anything that you want to fix, right? What's the most common objection that you run into? Or who struggles with just people like shutting them down when you knock on the door, like immediately, and like breaking through that? Who struggles with that? You do? Do you know how long it would take you to get better at that? Like a half hour. Like half hour. It would take you 2 minutes to find somebody that's really good at it and say, hey, can I pick your brain for like 20 minutes and just practice this with you, and you can show me what you do? So in 2 minutes, you can have that scheduled, and then in 32 minutes, you can have had it scheduled and done it, and then eliminated that thing that's holding you back. But I don't know, maybe we get a little bit comfortable being where we are, and so we just don't, we let's hang on to that weakness for too long because it makes us feel comfortable, because like change is scary. Right? It's weird. We all do this. Where we know we got to change something, we just hold on longer with the thing that's holding us back. And it just happens over and over and over again. It's a pattern. It's a stupid human thing. We should probably do the hand meditation when we find ourselves doing that too, right? Very effective stuff. So go to my last slide if you don't mind. Let me just recap. That was way longer than 20 minutes. My bad. Didn't even look at the clock. So just recapping here, you know, the positive of like, yeah, you're your own worst enemy. All of your problems are caused by you. The positive to that is you already got everything you need, baby. That's it. You don't need anything else. You can fix all of your own problems. You want to double your income? You can. Solar's free, so you can easily do it. You just have to be a little bit better. Okay? The hand meditation, when you find yourself lying to yourself or making excuses for yourself or just saying and thinking stupid things that are holding you back, have that intimate moment with your hand, smack yourself across your stupid face. Just remind yourself, like we all do this. We all think really stupid things all the time. It happens to every single one of us. It happens to me. Probably happens to me more than most people. I've just started to recognize it now a little bit more of like, wow, I am so dumb for thinking that thing. And you like believe it too. It's so, you believe the dumbest shit. We believe the dumbest shit we tell ourselves. Show me your calendar. Your calendar is so important, guys. Take 10 minutes before you even leave this thing. I would tell the managers in here, if you're running the team, check your team's calendars next team meeting and see who did this. And you'll dial it in a little bit more and more over time. I know I'm tweaking mine a little bit. I'm like, I don't really like planning on Sunday nights. I just want to relax. And so if I plan Sunday morning, so I moved that over. And then I'm like, well, I don't really like working out anymore, so I'm going to do that 3 days a week instead, or whatever. And you just tweak it and move it around, and then over time you start building out this lifestyle that you've designed, and it works for you. And like the first week you run it, you build your ideal week, you miss a lot, whatever, adjust it, keep making those adjustments, but know that you have a plan to fall back on. So that when you're falling back into something, it's not just whatever the fuck happens, you're falling back into what you designed should be happening in that moment. And then if you just get in the habit of doing that over the course of time, guess what? You're pretty fucking productive. Because you just designed it to be that way. And the last thing is, don't take too long to get better at something. So many of the issues that we run into, so many of the things that keep you from selling 10 a month or 15 a month are like just little tweaks that would honestly take you, it would really only take you like 2 hours to get better at. Like if you're trying to, we were talking about somebody going from, I just gave him away, but he's the guy that went from 12 to 23, what was the number? 12 to 23. There were such minor tweaks probably, like you probably worked a lot harder, but I bet you just made some minor tweaks there that gave you some major improvements. And so what are those minor tweaks for you? Let's fix them, and let's fix them fast. And that is all that I got for you guys today. I appreciate you listening to me. I hope that one of my jokes was funny, and I hope some of the stuff was valuable for you guys. So
Let's go.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Give it up for Ross.
All right, guys, it's been super fun. We're gonna break this thing down. I think Bob's still sleeping. Let's wake that motherfucker up. Hey, if you got a piece of paper today that says you are now a partner in the company, I want you to come to the front and help us break this thing down. Come on, not all at once.
Everybody vested. Everybody vested.
Everybody that got
That's you, Brian. You're on.
Yeah, there we go. The piece of paper. All right, guys, same thing. For those that don't know, we say, where's it going to the roof? Where's it going to the roof? Who are we? Harness, 2-clap, and a Ric Flair. You guys ready? Make some noise! Let's go! Where's it going? Where's it going? Who are we? Love you guys. Lunch is served. Hang out. Got to love you. Got to love you. Got to love you. Got to love you. Got to love you, baby, got to love you, 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 yeah, got to love you, got to love you, got to love you, got to love you. Girl, me no stay like them boy, they will put you down. Me rather lift you way up high up off the ground. Enough of them fake, them are no king or clown. Only thinking about themself alone. Listen me key now, baby, telling me how me sound. Run away, them little boy, they will lose up round me alone. I make you start to moan and groan. Come here and you're love strong like a stone girl, cause
I'd do anything I could for you. Boy, you're my only.
See the girl.
I'm gonna flip the script on you, and you don't even know me. Cause I don't even wanna fight.
I don't wanna fight, girl.
I ain't even gonna fight it.
Got to love you, 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 got to love you. Girl, I'm me alone, I give you security. I'm not just